Thanks, guys. Thanks. So Valentine's Day is coming up next week, and so I thought I would take the chance to get a little lovey-dovey and talk about the love of my life, food. So, I love food. I think everybody does, and a good meal goes beyond being a necessity and goes into something that we can really enjoy and honestly fall in love with. And there's a bunch of reasons for that, I think. The first one might come to mind is taste, right? And I'm sure we're all familiar how you've got thousands of taste buds in your mouth, and they're actually grouped into different parts on your tongue. There's a group of taste buds in the front at the tip of your tongue, two on the sides, and then one in the back. And all of these groups of taste buds actually detect different flavors and tastes. And so at the tip of your tongue, these taste buds especially sense sweet and salty flavors. And that's why when you bite into something, that's usually the first taste that you'll get, is sweet or salty. Whereas bitter flavors, these are sensed at the back of your tongue. And so that's why things like coffee and hoppy beer often have this lingering bitter aftertaste. It's just that delay from when you first ingest something and then when it actually gets detected at the back of your mouth. So the other thing we might know about food is, the smells, right? When you have a cold, nothing really tastes that great. But the way that smell is incorporated into our sense of taste is actually quite different from how we might, smell soup or your BO when you're walking into a science thing. What actually happens is that as we eat, there's bursts of air. Air goes up from the back of our mouth, and it's kind of forced upwards into our nasal cavity from the back of your mouth in a process that we call retronasal olfaction. And this process of retronasal olfaction, as the chemicals from the food, the volatile compounds that you would smell normally, go into those back passages of your nasal cavity. This is what the brain interprets and turns into taste as you eat. So it's actually different from how you might smell a glass of wine or sniff a glass of soup. Just kind of dope. And then of course there's appearance, right? And so if you think about a brown avocado when you cut it open and leave it for a bit, this browning is just a reaction between the enzymes in the fruit and the oxygen in the air, and it actually helps protect the fruit from rotting. But I always cut those pieces off. Brown avocados are just kind of less appealing, right? It kind of takes away from the taste of that food. And then there's a whole other dimension of taste when you're eating things. And I think this is best demonstrated by an example. So I want you to close your eyes for a second. Just imagine, you've had a busy day. Maybe it was actually today, and you were just typing away at your work or whatever, writing away, and you've got an apple on your desk that you were saving for a while, and you just kind of, while you're typing, you pick up this apple, you bring it to your mouth, and you just can't wait to chomp into this apple, bite into that crisp, firm, hear that crunch as you bite in. But when you bite into it, imagine you're doing this, and your teeth just sink into this soft, mushy, bruised apple. It's just gross, right? You can open your eyes again. Sorry for doing that. But what is it about that brown spot that made it so gross? If you think about it, you think back, the taste of that brown spot, it's not sweeter or saltier or more bitter than the rest of the apple. It doesn't really smell different, and you didn't have a chance to look at it because you were working. So what was it? The key to this is what food experts would call mouthfeel. And mouthfeel kind of incorporates all the textures and vibrations and temperature and pain of food that we eat. And so this sensation of mouthfeel is sensed by what we call the somatosensory system. And that's the same system in your body that registers the tactile sensations in your fingers or your toes. And it's the same one that controls or kind of registers the perception of where your limbs and your body is in space. And so the nerve endings for this system in your teeth will tell you whether you're biting something firm or hard or something soft and nasty. And the nerve endings, likewise, the nerve endings in the tongue and the roof of your mouth are going to tell you whether your beer that you're drinking is fizzy or whether you need a new beer. And so this is all, it has nothing to do with the taste or the smell, it's all the physical components of when you eat. And it plays actually a large role in how you taste and how you experience your food. And so I'm going to challenge you guys, next time you're eating a nice meal, whether it's tomorrow or maybe even later tonight, I want you to think about what is it about that meal that makes it so good to you. Is it the flavors, the smells, is it the appearance of the food? Or, kind of like that apple that we all bit into, is the difference between a good meal and a great meal, not the taste or the smell or the look, but a nice, satisfying,